Here it is, Wednesday in a flash, the second day of December. A little sunshine went a long way to making it feel not quite as chilly today. And if you like that trend, tomorrow is indeed the bright spot of the forecast. We peak temperature-wise, a lot of sun, and then we start to wane temperature-wise. Downhill we'll go, and then we'll also see rain and snow chances roll back into the forecast as we talked about on yesterday. As we talk about every day in this particular time of the world, we will have your COVID update locally and statewide. Another worst day in Kentucky and as far as McGoffin County. Fingers crossed that we'll have more days like today. A fewer number of cases, but some other details that we'll have to share with you. Also, a case that I believe I broke to you first about a Johnson County man being arrested on serious drug charges some weeks ago. Well, he's now, after a plea agreement, facing up to life in prison for bringing pounds and pounds of methamphetamine, along with others, back to Johnson and the surrounding county area to resell. I'll have that report for you, an updated forecast, as I said, and a lot of other news and information. So the CDC referred to it a few days ago. We knew it was coming, but to what extent we were not 100% certain. But they have loosened up the guidelines for quarantine as it pertains to the pandemic. But there is a but that goes at the end of that, and I'll explain in just a few seconds. Nevertheless, the bottom line is that the CDC has cut the time of quarantine that is required, not recommended, but required for anyone who's been possibly exposed to the coronavirus. From the 14 days that we've all come to know, some people very, very well at many times, to just 10 days, or even as few as 7 days with a negative test result or test results. How is it going to work? Well, the accepted alternatives are that quarantine can end after the 10th day of infection without testing, and if no symptoms have been reported during daily monitoring. Quarantine could also end after the 7th day if a person tests negative and no symptoms were reported during daily monitoring. But the agency says that those who end their quarantines early must practice continued symptom monitoring and the wearing of a mask through the entire 14 days. They've made these changes for several reasons. Some is evidence that patients are not believed to be infectious 10 days into their illness. Now, they also say that they have found that the viral load for the coronavirus is the highest in someone who has it 5 days after they start to show symptoms, which means that that's when patients are most likely to be infectious to others. The researchers also said that in zero of the COVID-19 studies considered were scientists able to find a live virus after day 9 of the illness. Now here's the but. A couple of them actually. There's another study that did determine that the median incubation period for COVID-19 is estimated to be precisely 5.1 days, and that 97.5% of patients who develop symptoms do so within 11.5 days of infection, which would mean that under conservative numbers, 100 out of every 10,000 roughly cases would develop symptoms after the 14 days of quarantine or monitoring. And that means that a 10-day quarantine period, well, wouldn't be the very best and safest means to prevent exposure to others. So recommend is a key word, and allow is another word, of course, that they are using. Required. The CDC still recommends quarantine for 14 days to completely reduce the risk of COVID-19, but their requirements have loosened up just a bit. They said very bluntly, any option to shorten the quarantine risks being less effective than the currently recommended 14-day quarantine. Any option to shorten quarantine risks being less effective than the current 14-day guidelines. So the requirements have eased, but their recommendations have not. If that is as clear as mud, I do apologize, but that is the sense of it. It is good news, and it's also news that everyone should take with a grain of salt and abide by their current situation. whatever that may be. And it's different for a lot of folks. The timeline is very hard to trace when you are exposed, when you are infectious, and when you should be tested, and the like. With that said, a Johnson County man is facing up to life in prison. It's a story that I broke to you, I believe, before anyone else some weeks ago. The Johnson County Sheriff's Department telling us about the arrest of Sean Tharp. He was arrested for selling methamphetamine, large quantities, to undercover informants after they learned that he had been bringing pounds in a conspiracy with others back to Johnson County from out of state. It was a 10-month investigation by the Johnson County Sheriff's Department and Deputy Bill Meade, as well as Unite and the DEA, which led to the arrest of 36-year-old Sean Tharp of Paintsville. He actually appeared before a federal judge on Monday and pled guilty for his part in the conspiracy to bring pounds of methamphetamine to Johnson and surrounding counties from the state of Georgia. He and others traveled to Georgia on multiple occasions, says authorities, and says Tharp in his plea agreement, to bring back literally pounds of methamphetamine. The plea agreement states that he admits to bringing in up to 11 pounds himself. Authorities believe that is likely a very low number for the entire conspiracy, which is still under investigation. Tharp, for his role in the conspiracy and with his plea agreement, faces a mandatory minimum of 10 years in federal prison, which would, of course, require that sentence him to serve 85%. He faces up to life in prison as a result. Law enforcement did, through their investigation, make multiple controlled buys from Tharp in Johnson County, buying ounces of methamphetamine on each and every occasion. And after obtaining a search warrant for his home back in September, they seized almost $20,000 in cash from Tharp. He remains in the Pike County Detention Center where he is awaiting sentencing. That date has not been set as of yet. The votes are in and it's unanimous. The Homestyle Bowl is back for a limited time at your Salyersville Lee's Famous Recipes. Savory chicken strips, kernel corn, cheddar cheese, our famous gravy, all on a bed of beautiful mashed potatoes. It's a meal or a side, and it's for a limited time at your Salyersville Lee's. The Keeping Room's 21st annual Christmas open house is this Friday and Saturday. That's 21 Christmas seasons of handcrafted soaps, 19th century wares and reproductions, watercolors, herbs, wreaths, and unique antiques and gifts. An absolutely stunning collection sure to please all your senses this Christmas. And it's all on display for their annual open house this Friday and Saturday, 10 till 5, on West Maple Street in downtown Salyersville. Nearly everything today is about being safe and well, and Parkway Pharmacy has two great ways to get your prescriptions quickly, safely, and conveniently. Simply pull up curbside and call and let them know you're there, or circle around the building and drive through. And just in, a fresh inventory of Atalo, premium CBD oil and cream products for managing pain, anxiety, depression, rest, digestion, and more. All at Parkway Pharmacy in Salyersville. There is never a good time for a breakdown. They will happen, and your car at some point is going to need some repairs and maintenance. And Black Smoke Performance is open and here with professional, fast, safe service. And they now have certified full air conditioning, diagnostics, and repair to keep you cool in whatever you drive. Black Smoke Performance, 349-8785. Same 6 decades of experience. Same undivided dedication and focus on winning your case. New location. The law offices of McFarland and Tinker are now located on Route 114 in the former McGoffin Farm Bureau location. Motor vehicle accidents, Social Security disability, SSI claims, wrongful death and workers' compensation and work injury cases. Call 349-9000. McFarland and Tinker. Let's begin with your COVID update for McGoffin County tonight. Actually, let's begin with an update for Johnson and Floyd real quickly. Yesterday's numbers from those two counties. Johnson County reported 11 new cases yesterday, bringing their total to 923. 8 still currently hospitalized in Johnson County. Floyd County yesterday confirmed 18 new cases, 1,296 since April for Floyd County. McGoffin County, I preface the interview that you won't see my remarks here because I cut them off, I think, in post, but I don't want to get too excited or read too much into it, but indeed, I am sure our public health director and health department are hopeful that we'll see more days with low numbers like we saw today.
Well, it's nice to have a day that we're not double digits, or in a couple of days double digits. We had 5 today, 5 positives, and that's reassuring. We didn't have any from the nursing home today, so it's a nice day. We went from 14 being hospitalized yesterday to 10 today. That's good news too, and so it's been, as far as COVID days, a good day.
And essentially coming from our worst day to one of our better days. Hopefully that will continue.
Yeah. Just we've had a couple of 3 bad weeks. I mean, it's just been bad. We've been in the double digits many days, and that's just to get down in the single digits. And it seems like I'm hoping that Thanksgiving won't give us another wave of positives, because it's it's 5 or 6 or 7 days away from that, and family gatherings and everything like that. So I'm just hoping that don't explode into another spike for us.
Yeah. We're still having a hard time getting a factual or actual number of lives that we've lost here locally, aren't we?
Yes, we are. It's very difficult. They're required to send us the COVID results, positive, negative, or positives when they get them to the hospitals and stuff like that. But when somebody passes, sometimes we don't get the death certificates when they're signed, or what the cause of death was. So it's kind of difficult for us to get an accurate picture from that. I think the state probably has a better way of accurate way of getting that number than we do.
I know that you had a conference call or Zoom meeting, if you will, with the governor today. Any new or confirming information out of that we didn't already know or were unsure of?
No, not really. He said the vaccine would be approved between 11 and 14, and I think some of the doses are going to come out a little earlier to the hospitals. There'll be 9 or 10 hospitals in the state that will receive the vaccine for their emergency room and COVID units, and then the rest of us will get it a little later on. So basically the same thing. We'll get 36,000 doses, the first dose, and 78,000 about a couple of weeks later, and then after the first year, we'll just see how it goes.
In our state COVID update, the numbers didn't fare as well. Our deadliest day yet, and that was a fact that we had for you yesterday. So it's, again, the deadliest day. That's not a good trend. I'll have that for you in just a few seconds. Right now, I think a brief community calendar brought to you by McGoffin Farm Bureau. Just a quick Christmas reminder that Candy Cane Lane is open on the Gardner Farm at the top of the Ivy Point Hill. All the lights and sights and Santa's mailbox is there for all of the letters you kids want to send. My best advice, make sure you put a return address on them. Might get something back. And you can always get your announcement heard and seen here on Your News Today. Just simply get them to me any way you can. And remember, if you want birthdays, birth announcements, or anniversaries published in the Sagersville Independent, they're free there too. But send those to Joe, J-O, at SagersvilleIndependent.com. One funeral service announcement for tonight. Services were actually held earlier today, private and graveside, for 94-year-old Anna Yvonne Owens of Sagersville, who passed away on the 26th, the daughter of C.N. and Geneva Stamper. She survived by 2 sons, Larry Owens and J.W. Owens, 4 grandchildren, several great-grandchildren as well. She's preceded in death by her husband, James Woodrow Owens, and once again, services in her honor were held earlier today.
I'm Dr. Jason Zimmerman at Highlands ARH, the healthcare system of Appalachia.
Conley Tire in Staffordsville or ConleyTire.net right now and get $200 back on a new set of Goodyears, $100 on new Generals, Coopers, Bridgestones, and Mickey Thompsons, all with the smoothest balancing Snap-on has to offer. And if your ride has a light on, let their state-of-the-art Zeus diagnostic machine figure it out for only $35 at Conley Tire. Go with All Pro, and you'll always get a perfectly finished project backed by decades of experience and thousands of satisfied customers. Always with the best prices on everything from small to large remodels, bathrooms to kitchens to entire homes, or turnkey new construction on everything from garages, homes to retail space. And seamless gutters too. And All Pro still offers 0% financing for up to 18 months and long-term low interest rates on those big projects. For an estimate, call this family-owned business today.
It's the most wonderful time of the year, and as always, Appalachian Wireless has the most unbelievable sale. Appalachian Wireless has made shopping for the holidays safe and more accommodating to meet the needs of our customers. The one-day sale of years past is now a rest of the year sale. Simply visit one of our 27 retail locations and get what you need through the end of the year, or reserve online to make an appointment for the phone you want, and we'll call you when it's ready. Happy holidays. We are you. We are Appalachian Wireless.
We know that life cannot come to a complete standstill because of the pandemic, but we can make sure that you can continue to bank safely and securely by calling either branch of the Sagersville National Bank to schedule any in-lobby services, or by using either of our drive-thrus. Mondays through Fridays, the main drive-thru is open from 8 until 3, and the branch drive-thru is open from 8 until 5, and the branch drive-thru is also open on weekends, Saturdays 8 until noon, with ATMs available 24/7 at both locations. Or by taking advantage of our completely free 24-hour internet banking and bill pay, banking by phone, remote deposit, automatic payment services, and more. Sagersville National Bank, always making your banking easier and safer. Prior to his address, confirming the deadliest day again for Kentucky. And the lives lost today, while they number nearly 40, also number a great many in their 40s and 50s. I'll get to that in just a second. Governor Beshear prefaced his daily update today with a very grim federal and White House report and update. The federal government advising Kentucky and other states that further post-Thanksgiving surge of the coronavirus, on top of what we are experiencing right now, will undoubtedly compromise all patient care, not just COVID-19 care and hospitalizations, as hospitals are filling up. Many already are. Many filling up. King's Daughters, one of their facilities, using their lobby as an overflow area right now. But that it will compromise regular patient care as well, as there's just not going to be enough rooms and enough medical personnel to provide the care that we are going to need. And we're just days, perhaps, away from that happening. Federal government also indicating, after analyzing Kentucky's plan and current regulations and mandates in place, that it will work if it is followed. The governor also recognizing that federal and state databases are struggling just to keep up with their daily case count, the high numbers, like we saw again today. Another day well into the 3,000s, and again, as I said, another day deemed the deadliest day to date.
We have that many cases. So today we have our sixth highest day ever, with 3,601 new cases of COVID-19. 379 kids 18 and under. We look at kids, we try to talk about their safety. I think there was 400 and something the other day, 800 plus kids in 2 days testing positive for COVID-19. Our total number of cases now, 186,765. Today we also have the most deaths we've ever had. Yesterday was our previous high. On back-to-back days, we have had the most deaths that we've ever experienced. Today, we've lost 37 additional Kentuckians. And when we get to it, you're going to see that I believe 6 of them are under 60 years old.
37 deaths. A 49-year-old man from Boone County, a 43-year-old woman, a 48-year-old man, a 46-year-old woman from, I believe, Warren County, another 46-year-old, several in their 50s and 60s among those 37 deaths. Young people passing away at significantly increased and high numbers from the coronavirus, and not all are having underlying medical conditions. There are still 234 people on ventilators across Kentucky, and our positivity rate has continued to go up again. It's highest since months ago at 9.62%. Now here is your Licking Valley RECC outlook, where we are looking at another beautiful and somewhat comfortable day in the neighborhood tomorrow, the peak indeed of the 7-day outlook. Yeah, we had a few cold ones out there, and in fact, of course, we're obviously below the average temperature range for this time of year. And some parts of Kentucky and eastern Kentucky actually saw one of their coldest mornings in recent years today, well below for some, the 20-degree mark. We're going to see the 20s again tonight. Not quite as bad, though. 26 under mostly clear skies and calm winds for the rest of your Wednesday. And like I said, tomorrow is the bright spot in the whole forecast at 50, maybe 51, maybe 52 degrees. Let's be optimistic for your Thursday. Mostly sunny skies for your Thursday as well. Nothing more than a light and variable wind. And no showers really until technically into your Friday. A 40% chance of showers, mainly after 2 o'clock in the morning. Clouds will increase after we all are hopefully fast asleep late tomorrow night. And then, like I said, a 40% chance of showers overnight with a likelihood of showers and only about 48 degrees and cloudy skies on your Friday. No snow mentioned therein because we'll be well above the freezing mark for Friday night's low at 37. Still a chilly night for playoff action on the gridiron. Saturday, though, 43-30, mostly cloudy, and the word snow does make an appearance Saturday night in the forecast. We'll have a 30% chance of some rain, maybe some snow between 10 p.m. and 2 in the a.m., and after that, the precipitation looks to be gone for a nice little run, but we're not climbing out of the low 40s at all. Mostly cloudy still for the last half of your weekend on Sunday, 40 degrees. 40 degrees Monday with a little sun, but still 40, partly sunny. Low 40s Tuesday, 43, mostly sunny, 29 again. Still below freezing Wednesday with 43 and partly cloudy skies as well. Well, that's it for tonight. Tomorrow is publication day of the Sagersville Independent, a host of other news and information that you're only going to read and see there, as well as, of course, our historic page, our Throwback Thursday page brought to you by Grover on it, and a host of other neat things to read. We will be featuring one of our stories tomorrow. We will talk with, as my editor Heather Oney has done over the past several days, to several pastors in McGoffin County about the unique and creative and safe ways that they are still holding services with their congregations. Should make for a nice read. Pick one up tomorrow as soon as you can, and I hope to see you back here afterwards tomorrow night. Thank you for watching.